Have I got a story for you? Oh! So I'm on my way to Tim Cameron's place. Why? Seems kind of weird. Well, let's go back. The other week when I posted that we were giving away the FC, I started getting a lot of people messaging me saying, you know, that they had found one here, they saw one on Craigslist, their neighbors got one. So there's a lot of options, and then there's that free one, of course, down in Florida, which I'm gonna go get next week. But there was one message on Facebook that stood out that I got from a guy named Luke in Utah, and he sent me a picture of a beautiful FC. And the price was right, and he said, I'd be willing to sell you this FC. And so I thought, okay, that's a good looking body. It didn't have the bed, but I'm okay with that. All I need is the cab, basically. So I told him I would figure out how to get up there to Utah. Utah for me is probably 30 hours or so up to Salt Lake. What's funny is the day afterward, I think it was, I got a message from a guy named Cole that said, I live in South Dakota and I'm going to be traveling down to that Nashville area to pick up a Samurai that I bought from Tim Cameron. Tim Cameron lives about 3 hours from me. And so the problem is he's in South Dakota, which is 10 hours away from where this FC is. So I said, let me get back with you and see if I can find anybody who is going. He was leaving the next day, actually, so it needed to be real quick from Salt Lake to South Dakota. Turns out I couldn't find anybody, so I messaged Cole back and I said, sorry, it's not going to work out, but if you happen to have time and you want to go to Salt Lake, I will pay you to drive out of your way. And the next day he got back with me and said, I'll do it. And so that was totally awesome. 10 hours out of his way, actually 20 hours, because he had to go 10 hours the wrong direction and then 10 hours back. So Cole is on his way to Tim Cameron's shop right now, which is in Columbia, Tennessee. So I get in my truck and trailer and I start driving. I'm going to meet him there at 6:30 today. I get halfway there and I realize I don't have my wallet. So if I get pulled over, it's not going to be good. But two, I dropped my phone when we were wheeling this weekend. The phone got dropped out of the Jeep, landed in a mud puddle in the mud, and then got ran over 3 times. It was all fine. It's kind of working. It's cracked. You can see it's not looking so hot, but it was working. And then all of a sudden, halfway here, the cell service just stops working altogether. So I had to pull out my handy dandy Atlas, which I recommend that you keep one of these in the back of your car at all times. So I looked up where Columbia, Tennessee is on here, and I can get close. The problem is, once I get to Columbia on this map, it's just a little tiny dot. I have no, I know the street address, but I don't know where I'm going once I get to Columbia. So this is going to be fun. Wish me luck. Okay, so I missed my exit. Now I'm going into Nashville. I know I need to hit 65 South somewhere, so I gotta try to find that. And yeah, it's raining. What else can go wrong today? I need to start going south, so we'll go that way. So my phone has no cell signal. It works otherwise, but no cell service. I can't get Wi-Fi because I'm on the highway. Maybe if I stopped at Starbucks or something. But I'm running late and I've got no way to communicate that I am running late. So I remembered I put it in my phone, but that's all I have to go off of. That little dot right there, without a signal, it won't give me any other information other than that. So I'm gonna try to eyeball it and see if I can find it. Check it out. I found it. Well, it's not easy. Check this out. Here's the first look, guys. It's missing a window. It's got some rust right there, but otherwise, it looks fairly solid. What do you guys think of that? The bed on it is kind of cool, but not what I'm looking for. And it's got an engine in the bed. Super Hurricane. On this side of the bed's a little worse. Flat tire, the motor's locked up, no brakes. But man, look at that. So smooth. I think the plan is to put this buggy that he bought on my trailer and then head towards Knoxville. Oh man, that was fun. So I kind of got so stressed out I forgot to film me going in. But anyway, everything worked out. I was super late, but I finally found it. I stopped at the Starbucks and was able to figure out kind of where I was, get on their Wi-Fi. It still wouldn't let me get the directions because for some reason you can't get directions unless you have cell signal, which is really dumb. But anyway, got the FC. Actually, I don't have the FC. Cole still has the FC on his trailer. I have his Samurai on my trailer, and we're headed to Knoxville because he wants to wheel Windrock. So that's what we're gonna do instead of swapping everything over there. That FC has a big giant wind sail on the top of it. It's got this big giant board that's up there for no reason. I don't know why, but I'm sure that doesn't help. He says his top speed's about 65 miles an hour, so you're the man though. All right, guys, we got it at my shop. What are we gonna do now?
Figure it out. No brakes, no steering, and a locked up motor.
Right.
And a flat tire.
We got to get it off this trailer. It's a good thing I put this little drive in, but we got to get it off this trailer and then into that shop. I think I want to do it face forward, but there's no brakes, no steering, nothing. Locked up motor. Got a buggy over here. Check this thing out. Came all the way from South Dakota to buy that.
Is it gonna come off the ramps? Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Can't see it from there. Yeah. All right. We have to get this giant wind sail off before it'll go in the garage there. And Colt just found out that it was just sitting here. The whole thing is just sitting on top of the bed. What'd you go? 2,000 miles or something?
Yep.
So, plan now is to winch it off. We got all kinds of parts in here. Anybody need a Super Hurricane? We have starters. We have bell housings. We have intakes. What was over there? A steering?
Another steering column.
Steering column for an FC. We have this cool 50s bed. Oh yeah. What do you think a U6000 is?
Somebody need a sweet wind sail for their truck?
Alright. Now it can fit inside there. I still don't need the bed or the frame, but I'll take that apart in undercover and not being rained on. That tire is not happy. Whoever wins this, when they drive it, they won't have to have air conditioning because it's right there in the front. We have a slight problem. This thing is tall and I haven't even lifted it yet. And my ceiling is only 8 foot. Just barely scraped in here. Good job, guys. Now what do I do with it?
I sold my rock crawler and I was looking for another one. Found that Tim Cameron had one. Called him up and decided I want to buy it. Saw your video where you were looking for a forward control. Figured I'd reach out to you because I knew you were in Tennessee, and I know they're really hard to find, and really hard to find in good shape too, that aren't totally rotten. Figured to see if you found one out west, if you could get it up to South Dakota, I'd bring it out.
But I couldn't get it up to South Dakota, so why did you decide to help me?
Well, because everything's going on, I got furloughed, so I had really nothing but time. So it made it an adventure. From Custer, South Dakota, first night I stayed down in the southwest corner of Wyoming. Woke up the next morning, had an inch of snow on my truck, and ended up driving through a blizzard to get down into Salt Lake. Went out on the other side of Salt Lake and met Luke and his dad. They're out in the mountains, out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I don't even know. They probably had power, but I don't know where the power lines were. Him and his dad were real helpful, and we got it loaded up. Got into Nebraska the next night, stayed the night, and then got up that morning and it was windy, and I had a pretty nasty side wind. With the hole in the window there, that side wind was grabbing this thing pretty hard. That and you know, sail that's on the back of the bed. Had a lot of people give me thumbs up, and I had a lot of people taking pictures, but some people were taking pictures of the front and some people were taking pictures of the back. So I think half the people were excited, knew, you know, what the front was, and other half were wondering if all the stuff in the back of this bed was gonna fly out. Hit a nasty pothole and managed to break my trailer axle, and 7,000 pound axle. We were gonna meet up at Tim Cameron's house, and unfortunately your phone broke and got lost. But somehow you made it there. I still don't know how you figured out how to get there, but at that point it was just easier to load the buggy up on your trailer and then come out this way. That's where we are now, and got it unloaded and got it here.
And what's the name of your business?
Sodak Off-Road. I'll do anything from mostly fabrication stuff or brake jobs, lift kits, things like that. Or like I said, I've done a lot of tour guiding stuff, anything. I got a stock Jeep that runs people that want to go see mines and parts of the Black Hills, that the history of it, or the people that want to just go full extreme and see how hard they can thrash on their rigs.
I want to have everybody sign this. Are you down with signing it somewhere?
Oh yeah.
We're going to have people sign it right there, and I will just not paint that part if we decide to paint it in the future. I don't think you ever told people your name.
I probably didn't. My name's Colt Cluley. I'm gonna put Colt 45.
All right. Appreciate it, Colt.
Yeah.
All right. So he's got to make a few modifications so he can even fit in this thing. How tall are you?
6'5".
6'5". Holy cow. Look at this little tiny air filter. Here's the turbo. That's the turbo. It's smaller than my fist. What kind of motor is this?
16 valve, 1.6.
1.6, 16 valve. It's got a light bar.
I found those washers.
There's an extra fuel filter or something, or fuel pump.
That's to break in the motor with gasoline, because you don't want to break in the motor with propane because it's dry.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yep. Yeah, that's the rear steer valve.
This is throttle control.
Yep. Throttle control.
Kind of dark in here.
Pretty gauges.
That's cool how they all go off like that.
Yeah, thought that was neat.
That's a lot of gauges. I don't even know what would all those gauges be for.
One's, yeah, I don't even remember.
You just have to figure it out as you go.
I'll get my label. They're on there when you have it on, but I'll probably get my label maker out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little slow, so it helps me.
So Colt wants to hit Rattle Rock tomorrow. I don't think this is gonna make it. What do you think?
I think we got a little fixing.
Spank it. Oh! You ever seen that before? Look at that, you can see the bearings in there. What the what? 2-piece unit bearing right there. That's a special unit bearing too. That's a 30 spline, or I think it's 30 spline. So that is why this ball was going nuts. The cup was all busted up, and I thought it was just had come off of there, but it came off of there because this was just wobbling around in there, loosey-goosey. So I just got a phone call from freaking Matt. Apparently he went riding with a fella today, and he threw a rod on the Scorpion crawler, and then he has no steering, and they tried to get it back down the mountain, and he flipped over. So now I'm in like a giant recovery mission. So it's, I don't know why it's funny. I hate it for him, man. Obviously I don't want anybody to blow their engine and have the trouble he's going through, but it's kind of like, I guess, when your buddy slips and falls and you laugh about it. Well, here we are. But I just pulled into my shop, and I'm gonna hook up to my trailer. Thank goodness I worked my butt off and got my Jeep working last night, and I'm gonna go try to help my boy out. So stay tuned.